Well, here's a story which maybe you've heard before, but here you're going to hear it again. I certainly have heard it before. So the story goes like this: that there was a group of shochatim. Shochatim are Jews that learned how to properly slaughter animals. In Judaism, it's definitely permissible to eat meat, but not everything. You can't. There's animals which are forbidden to eat, and even the animals that are permissible to eat, there are very complicated laws about how to slaughter them. And in Hebrew, it's called shchita. Shchita, and the people who slaughter the animals are called shochatim. So generally, this is divided into shochatim that they slaughter birds, which is a much smaller knife, and there's others which they slaughter cows, beef, and which is a much longer knife. It's about as long as your arm, a long knife, as your forearm, a long knife. And some also slaughter sheep, which is not as common, and that requires a shorter knife, but much longer than a bird knife, and but shorter than a okay. So usually in Israel there aren't that many cows and beef that are slaughtered. Why? Because if you the laws are very complicated to slaughter an animal, and very very exact, and if one thing is missing, it disqualifies the animal. It can't be eaten. It can't be eaten by a Jew. It can't be eaten, but by a non-Jew, it can be eaten. It can be eaten. So, therefore, for instance, Arabs they make some sort of a blessing before they slaughter, but there's no laws of slaughtering, right? If the knife has a nick in it or something, there's nothing wrong with it. So, if a Jew slaughters a cow and there's a nick in the knife, so a Jew can't eat it, but he can sell it to an Arab. But there's not that many Arabs around, which is not the case. That want to eat meat, which is not the case in let's say Argentina or these other places. There's thousands of cows slaughtered every day by the non-Jews, and they don't care if they're kosher or not. So the Jews go down there to slaughter the meat, to slaughter the cows. So a lot of times they go a big group of them, 30, 40 shochatim will go down together in this slaughter. So it was. There was a big group of, let's say, 40 shochatim that went down to Argentina. And they have big, huge slaughtering houses where they bring thousands and thousands of cows and they slaughter them, they kill them. And the ones that are not kosher, they sell to the non-Jews. And the ones that are kosher, they sell to the Jews. So that's where they go to. But so a big group went. They went to Argentina, and they went into this. It was a huge plant that they would go and slaughter, and there was a guard at the door and everything, so no other strangers wouldn't come in. The door was a big high fence all around it, a big electric door that moved, and they went in. So they went in, and it's a hard job. It's a hard job to be a shofet. I did it for a while, not with cows, with birds. For a while, I learned how to do it anyway. So it's not easy. It's not easy work. So after a hard day of work, 4 or 5 hours, whatever, 6 hours of work, so they finished. They cleaned up and they put on their clothes and everything, and they stood by the gate. And the guard opens the gate, and the guard was sitting there, and he didn't open the gate. So they said to him, "What's going on? Open the gate." So the guard speaks Spanish. They don't speak Spanish, and they say no. So one of the shochatim over there, one of the Jewish slaughterers, he speaks a little bit of Spanish, so he says to the guard, "Why don't you open it up?" So the guard says something back to him which he doesn't understand. He says, "Just open it up." And so they call the manager of the place and says, "Will you tell the guard to open up the door for us? The guy's gone crazy. We want to go home. The bus is waiting for us, and we're really tired." So he says, "One second, I'll ask the guard." He asked the guard. He said, "The guard says that one of you is missing. That one of you is not there." So they say, "Oh, come on, how does he know where the guard? He knows everybody personally." All of them look the same. They all have beards. Maybe one is a little higher, a little taller, a little shorter. And he says, "No, he's not going to open up the door until that one person is there. The one person is there." So they say, "Listen, we got no trust." When they make a count, they say, "Wow, we only 39. One person is missing." who was missing, and there was one of the friends, Schmerl. I don't know who the person was. He's missing. He was a sort of a quiet guy, kept to himself, so they didn't really notice him. And so we got to find him. So they went and they searched around, yelling, "Hey, Schmerl, Schmerl, where are you? What happened?" Maybe he went to sleep. Everybody, they were really tired. Maybe he went to sleep. Anyway, they searched around. They couldn't find him. Finally, they decided, in all the obvious places we searched. So someone went into the freezer. Now the freezer is huge, right? It's free. I mean, they slaughter thousands of cows every day, and they have to freeze them. So it's huge, and it's very cold, very, very cold. And sure enough, they find him. He had gone in for some reason or other, whatever reason it was. He went in and he must have fallen down and he hit his head and he was unconscious and he was almost frozen. So they pulled him out. They brought the medic that's there with them and they brought him back to life. They brought him back to life and he's shivering and everything like that. But miraculously, his heart came back and everything. So they went out and they said to the guard, they asked it, how could it possibly be that that he knew? So the manager was with them now. So the manager said, how did you know that one person was missing? So the guard says like this. He says, every morning when these 40 Jews come in, they all go in. One of them always says to me, good morning. He always says to me, good morning. Good morning, he says it in English, in Yiddish, whatever language he says. Buenos dias, right? Maybe he says it in Spanish, a little bit of Spanish he knows. He said every morning and every day when they go out, he says to me the same thing, buenas noches. He says something, have a good day. Buenas tardes, so they say. Well, every day he says, today he came and he's the only one. He's the only one that says to me, good morning and good afternoon. Only one. And now when he came, when everybody came in, he said to me, good morning. No, I didn't pay any attention who he is. To me, they all look the same. But when they went out, nobody said to me, good afternoon. So I know that he must be missing because every day he said, good afternoon. And it makes me feel good that somebody notices me. So I noticed him. So we see that because this person cared about a non-Jew that he's got no connection with, and all the other shochatim, they're nice guys and everything, but they, what are they going to say good morning to a person? He's got his life. I have my life. But no, one Jew cared enough about another person to say, have a good day. And ends up that sometimes saying, have a good day to someone saves the person that you say it to, that he knows that at least somebody cares about me. But sometimes it can save the person who's saying it, his own life. And here's a case of that. So if we learn any message about Atem Nitzavim, Hayom Kulchem, that we should care about other people. And we should say good morning to people, at least. And give a good word to someone else. And that'll save not only the other person's life, but also could save your life and could save the whole Jewish people. To show that being friendly and caring is definitely an option in life. And if we take that option, it makes the world a better place. Have a good day with Mashiach. Now Sunday, there will not be a class in the morning. Sunday, like I told you, my grandson passed away. And then Sunday, we're going to the cemetery, and because it's the finishing of the 7 days. So I'll put the class up later, but we'll have to pray early session in order to go there. God bless you all. Have a good Shabbos with Mashiach now, and see you on Monday. I'll put up the class on Monday. See you.